Well, I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad that after 22 years, we've got one of the world's best tracks. I mean, the track here is a wide track. It's got a Mondo surface on it, and we think it is a very fast track. It has the dimensions that would give it speed such that it would be fast. But we have to have our first meet to determine that. And Saturday will give us the first opportunity to put our kids on the track, on their home track, like they have at the other universities, and a finer track, or as fine as you can have in the country. I'm excited that the University of South Carolina is presenting this opportunity to not only collegiate athletes, but also to the kids in the state of South Carolina, so that they have the same opportunities that other kids around the country have. So this was a dream of mine when I first got here, was to introduce track and field at Hole to be the track of the East. And so now it has come to full fruition that we have a great academic institution here. We have a great athletic facility and an outstanding track so that our kids so that we can recruit around the world and we can have the opportunities for kids in the state of South Carolina.
Well, Coach, kind of dovetailing off of that, I guess what does this do as far as development of the student athletes that you have, the fact that they have, a new outdoor track and now a new indoor facility as well?
Well, what it does for us as far as indoor is concerned is that we don't have to be outdoors practicing and our injury rates go down, because it does, even though the weather is not as cold as the north, it does get cold enough. Like today is a very cold day to be a sprint school. And so lots of time we've sprinted outside and trained outside, and our injury rates gets up high. This right here, and then the other thing is when you go to the major schools and you got to run on a bank track, to become a person who you're not familiar with the way it feels to go around a track. So by the time you get familiar with the track, the race is over. So we're familiar before that happens. So it gives our kids an equal opportunity as Texas A&M and as Arkansas, and those are the places that you go to run fast. And Clemson has one of the tracks where they can practice on the inside. So these will give our kids the equal opportunity that those facilities have.
And when you talk about just having this facility and football, they got their new indoor facility. I guess what does this do for the profile as for USC as an athletics program now that you said everyone's kind of like on equal playing ground now?
Well, what it does is it's a presentation, because football has. I was in it yesterday. A phenomenal facility. I mean, it's the best in the country. Baseball has equal to best baseball facility. Our women's softball has as good as there is in the country to play on. And track has moved to that level to where that when a person comes on campus, a kid that plays high school track or plays football, then they can say that all athletes are treated equal at the University of South Carolina. All the athletes at the University of South Carolina have fine facilities. We have the best facilities. And so that, as you go into the next year of sports and you go into the next 20 years to become the dominant athletic program in the country, South Carolina has put itself in a footing where we can be competitive versus the other people. But you either are a Jones or not. We have moved ourselves in the athletic facility realm of being in the same category as Joneses. Power fives.
Have you noticed any extra excitement from the student athletes getting to run for the first time very soon in here?
Immediately. Last spring, whenever we came in to see the track after it had been finished put up, our kids were already excited when we sit on the track. And then we had to go through this period of all fall to determine whether we could get in and what time we could get in. And once we were in it to practice last week, it rejuvenated them. And in fact, we had some very good performances last week at Clemson. And it was a little bit off of the feel of, hey, we are here. We have our facility. We practice on our facility. We're excited. So the thrill is here, the upbeat of the kids, the feeling of being a high-level program has returned.
I don't want to call it confidence, but I guess how much more, I don't know, swagger do you have going on a recruiting trail now that you can boast you have, great indoor, outdoor facilities now?
We've had a very good fall recruiting because we were able to kind of let kids peep in the door. In fact, I would say we had one of the top 10 recruiting. I told someone other, it's probably the third best recruiting class that we've had over my whole 20 years. So we're on that verge with that kind of class. Now what you have to do with a class like that is next year have the second best recruiting class in the country, and the next year and so it takes about 3 classes to put you where you're in a top 5 run. So we this facility put us into this year's recruiting class, put us in a category that those kids will be on junior national teams and with the next coming class, and kids go where the good ones are. So once you make good friends, you talk about your facility, and then that's the way it starts to rolling. So I'm really excited about the recruiting class we just signed.